Hey everybody, what's going on? Welcome back to the Lavish Lifestyle channel. This is another maintenance video. Today we're doing the front brakes on the Maserati Granturismo. This is a 14 MC. We're doing the rotors and the brakes on both sides, driver and passenger. I'm gonna do a good detailed walkthrough video on everything I'm gonna be changing out. And first I'm gonna show you guys the tools I'm gonna be using. So let's get straight into the video. Okay, so this is a little setup for everything I have going on. What you're gonna need, of course, you're gonna need a jack, at least a 2-ton. Rotors. Rotor part number you're gonna need for MC 2014 is gonna be 257141. Ceramic brake pads. I got the SKU number right here, in case you're wondering what size you need. All right. I'm going to be using a brake pad spreader. Probably did not need to buy this, but you know, just to be safe. And I'll tell you why later in the video. I'm gonna be using my wrench, and we're gonna be using 1/2 inch to get the couple of bolts off. Some brake lube, an adjustable wrench for that. This is going to be a what is this? 22 millimeter socket to get the brake lugs off, some zip ties, a center punch to get the pins out, little hammer, of course my breaker bar with that socket. What you would like to do is turn the wheel a little bit so you can have better access to your brake caliper. I'm gonna start off by breaking the nuts real quick. I'm gonna leave this one on while I jack up the car. Real quick, I do want to show you a jack point on the driver's side. So if we look underneath the car, see this little hole right here? This is gonna be your jack point. This right here is a good spot for a puck. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna let some air out the tire. So I don't want to jack it up too high. Let some air out the tire, so now the tire spins freely, and just pull this out. Okay, now, so before I pull this tire off, I went ahead and I got some extra protection for myself, just in case the jack fails me. Do not have any jack stands, but that's okay, because that's what this wood and brick on top can't see the brick, but the brick is on for. So I tried to position that kind of where the jack stands at, because you want to put the jack stand and whatever your second protection is right in the same area where the car frame is at, because that's where you want to jack up the car, on the frame. So that's just like a little extra layer of protection. Some people take the tire off and use the tire, but I don't think I would have had enough room for the tire. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna take this off right now. All right. Now we have access to the rotor, the caliper, the brake pads. Okay, one thing I forgot to mention was you're going to need a 10 millimeter like Allen wrench key or something like that for these two bolts right here. This one and this one down here. These two bolts will let you be able to take the caliper off. I use this. It was on pretty snug, and I used the breaker bar. So just note to self, I forgot to mention that. But we're gonna start by unloosening that real quick. Put some here. Perfect, okay. So, on the driver's side, there is a brake wear sensor. It's gonna be right here. It's connected through zip ties. Zip tie on here. It goes goes to this point right there. Okay, so some people disconnect that. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just start taking the pads out, okay, and I'm gonna just disconnect it from the pad. Comes out like that. Now I'm gonna use my puncher. I'm gonna punch these pins out real quick. See the up arrow? There's an up arrow right here. I'm going to reuse this, so that shows whenever you put this back on, this is the top side, okay? And then goes the pin. I'm gonna reuse this pin too. Probably clean them up a little bit, most likely. On these, that's not crazy. Now this should be able to come on up. This one. You have a little trouble getting that out. Just gotta hit this with the hammer a little bit. Some more. There you go. See, that's more. See, don't damage this. So what I'm gonna do so I can get this out easier, a little piece of wood right here, and hit the back of this wood. It should push it right out. Boom, baby. I'll show you guys what we're looking at. So these right here was 3 of them. 1, 2, 3. They come out as the pad wears down. So you want to push the pad in so you can push these back into place, and then they'll enable it to, they'll let you to get the pad out easily. It's got some on both sides, some on this side too. You gotta push it in a little bit, it should be able to slide out. Alright, it's on. That's on the back side. What I'm gonna do right quick, I'm gonna just hit it a little bit. Okay, so this sensor right here needs to come on out. A flathead screwdriver, I just kind of popped it out. So the wire won't get damaged. Now, finish taking this brake pad out. Pretty worn up. Still has some life in it, but they were beginning to squeak, and when they were starting to squeak, that means it's time to change them. So that's what they look like together. Here's a look at the brand new ones. See the difference in that? So I have my old one right here and the new one right here. So you see the beefiness in this new one. Now you can definitely tell that, yeah, these were worn out. Side by side. Alright. So normally, if we were just doing the brake job, I would just push these. I would just push these in, right, both sides, and then put the new brake pads in, and then hook it all back together, and we'll be done. But we're gonna take the rotor off, so we're gonna change the rotor. This whole thing, this whole rotor, we're gonna change up the new one. So I'm gonna take this caliper off, and then we're gonna replace the rotor. So we're gonna do a few more extra steps. Okay, this is a full brake job. Now that I got this out the way, I'm going to finish taking these off. Alright, there goes one screw, the bottom one. It's got the washer on it. Alright, so I got my zip tie ready, because what we're going to do, I don't really want this to hang So we're gonna zip tie it up to something. I'll show you guys what I mean. Okay, so I got that off. Got the washer right here, perfect. Alright. So careful with the wires. And careful with your brake line. Found out I needed 2 zip ties just to make it longer. You see how it's got some slack right here? That's what you want. You don't want it stressed out. Put my zip tie actually through the same hole that this bolt came out of. I used the hole from here and put it through there, and it worked out perfectly on hanging right there. All right, so now what I'm gonna do is take this baby off, and it's real easy. Easiest thing on the car to take off. And these screws right here are going to be, yep, I can use the same half inch. I'm sure it doesn't matter, but I'm gonna use the same screws, but I'm gonna also try to see if I can put the screws back in the same position whenever I do put the new rotor back on. So there's a little reference. We got the old one right here. We got the new one right there. Exact same rotors, you know, drilled and slotted. Drilled and slotted. This one comes with the fresh paint on it. That's why it looks like that. But when you start using them, all that paint is gonna come off. And then it'll start looking more like this one. See, it wasn't too bad. It's got a little lip right here. So all this should be smooth. See that? It should be smooth. All that should be smooth. It's got a lip right here. It's got a lip right there. So that's how you know that these did need to be changed. So before I put the new one on, I'm gonna get some brake cleaner. I'm going to just spray this up a little bit. All right, I cleaned that up a little bit. Not gonna spend too much time on it. And after all their brakes, they're gonna get dirty. So these little holes right here, I have to line up with these little holes right there. Pretty easy, pretty straightforward. Now what we're gonna do, we're gonna put this caliper back on. I'm just going to clip this zip tie. I'm gonna use this little tool right here. Should have did it before I went ahead and cut it, but that's okay. Let's get your adjustable wrench. Go ahead and give it a little rotation. So you see how those got pushed down? Now you gotta do the top ones. So you wanna push them down. The reason why you do that is so your new brake pads can fit, because they got all that meat on it, the new meat. All right, so I got all those pushed in. I'm gonna install the caliper. Make sure your washer is on there with your bolt. Now, I got this bolt in here to put just to hold the caliper in place. But what I'm gonna do, just for future brake jobs and all that good stuff, I'm gonna put a little bit of a brake lube on these bolts right here. You can see that. Just a little brake lube. So this will just, you know, ensure the bolt don't get stuck or anything like that. Put this down. Got the new pads. Got my brake sensor right here. So we put this left pad in first. So before I do that, we're going to use a little reference point. So this is the old pad. See where it has 3 circles? That's point of contact. You want to put some lube on those 3 spots. So I'll put some brake lube right here. Okay, and just I'll rub that in with the napkin. Okay, that's good. That's lubed up. I'll put this in here. Perfect. Now I'm gonna get the second one. I'm gonna do the same thing. Just be careful not to get any of that lube on the pad itself. You don't want that. So just again, reference point. The pad, friction pad itself is going to be on the disc, okay? The meat part, the part that fades away, is going to be on the disc, okay? The sensor back on. Just clips right in. It's pretty easy. Get the good old wooden block. All right. Perfect. All right, now before I put the pins back in place, I'm just going to spray them a little bit with some brake cleaner. Let that sit for like a couple seconds and I'm gonna wipe it down. Okay, went ahead and sprayed them down a little bit and put a little bit of grease on this right here. It's just so the pin can slide in nice and smooth. Let's start with the bottom. Put this pad back, the pad in a little bit. There we go. Okay, got that bottom pin in there. And you're gonna start putting this in here like that. We're gonna put the second pin in now. Yeah, still got some grease on this napkin. This will work. There you go. Grease it up. Yep, I'm gonna have to hold this one down a little bit. Okay, perfect. Grease this up. Easy. Perfect. So every there. Sit right in. Put a little grease on this. All right. Not for safety, it's on this, but not really good. So that is the front driver's side brake job. All I gotta do is put on the tire and we'll go to the passenger side. Not bad. Easy peasy. Got the brake sensor in there. Make sure it's seated in correctly. Yep, snapped in. You'll know when it's in there too. Cool. Easy peasy. Got the pin sticking out. That's good. That's not crooked. This isn't crooked. Everything looks good. Perfect. Put these rims back on. Just make sure you do a star pattern again. Especially when you clean them on. So any rim. I'm sure all you car guys know that. It's like that's code 101. You're changing, taking your tire off and putting the rim back on. Tighten it real quick while it's still spinning before I drop the car, so I know I can see it correctly. Now when I drop the car, I got the tire, so the tire air pressure out. So I got to fill the air pressure with the tire with air again before I drop it, because the car's gonna be sitting too low. I won't be able to pull my jack out. So you gotta remember, if you have a little car like this, you let the air out the tire. Just be sure to put air back in the tire before you drop the car. I said, cars like this, 32 psi should be perfect. And then when I put air in the tire, I'm gonna drop it. I'm gonna make sure everything's real tight and snug, because I know it could be tightened a lot more without the wheel spinning. All right, I got the tire aired up. Take this block off. Don't forget, normally this would be a jack stand, but this works just as well. Take these out. Just double check that nothing's underneath the car. Looks good. I'll lay it down slowly. That's good. I'll finish tying these up. Alright. There goes the new rotors, the new pads up in there, looking good. So what we're gonna do is we're going to go ahead. Of course, kind of dirty, but we're gonna get this side now. We're gonna do the same thing to this side. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna turn the car around so I won't be in the street. But before I do that, I'm gonna pump the brakes. I'm gonna pump the brakes. Normally, you should do this after a fluid change, but just in case, you know, I am gonna pump them a little bit. All the way down. All right, I think they're fine now. I'm not going far. Okay, I got the car pulled around. This is the passenger side. We're gonna start doing the brake job and rotors on this side. There is no brake sensor on this side, so we don't have to worry about that part. Let's go ahead and let's knock this out real quick. We're gonna do the same procedure. We're gonna jack up the car, put the little safety wood blocks underneath, and then we're gonna start taking the rim off. But first we're gonna break the lugs right now while the car's not in the air. Remember to have the wheel, if you're doing the passenger side, have the wheel face like that. That way you can have easy access to the caliper and everything, okay? All right.
Just like the driver's side rim, I'm gonna leave that top bolt on, and I'm gonna put the jack on, and then I'm gonna let some air out the tire. You wanna put the jack underneath first before you let the air out the tire, because when you let air out the tire, the car's gonna lower. So you wanna have enough clearance for your jack. Okay, so before on the driver's side I had the jack on some grass. When I jack the car up, the jack will just sink into the grass. Now it's on concrete, so I'm gonna put this brick right in front of my jack so it won't roll or anything like that. A little extra safety precautions. You know, I'm sure you can do things a lot safer, a lot better, but hey, something's better than nothing, you know? You do want to stay safe, as safe as you can be. That's not gonna be. Okay, all right. So again, on. Breathe. Break this on. This is bigger. On. Get this on. Breathe. There we go. That's on. Use break. Let that out. All right. There goes. All right. Still in one piece. All right, that would need to be clean and lubed, definitely. All right, let's get these brake pads out. Okay, so I got the pad in the front out. The pad in the back is a little stuck, but that's okay, because since we're changing out the whole rotor, we're gonna take the caliper off, remember? So, just gotta break these screws loose, which I already did. Broke this one loose, broke that one loose. Again, this one does not have a brake sensor on it. It only comes with one in the front, which is on the driver's side, and it comes with one in the back. Got the zip tie ready so it won't dangle. That brake pad came right out. Easy peasy. Time to change the rotor. Just spray a little brake cleaner on it, and I'm gonna let that have to, but since everything's off anyway, might as well, you know. So while it's still hanging, just so it'll be easier for me, I'm going to go ahead and push these brake pistons back in. That's what I'm gonna call them. All right, I got those top two pushed in. Now I'm gonna get the bottom. Time to put this rotor on. Got those other brake pistons pushed in. Time to put this on. And put this back on. Put some brake grease on both of those bolts. Screwing them in right now. Got the new rotor on. Got these bolts fastened on right here. Make sure to finish it off with the breaker bar. Remember to grease up the back of the pad. Perfecto. Alright, I'm gonna spray these down with some brake cleaner and grease them up. I got this pin greased up, put it inside. Easy peasy. Alright, I just put those 2 pins in there. I'll put this in there too. Let's do it. Got it greased up. Just give it a little hope. After I tap that in, I'm gonna put the screw in now. Perfect. Okay, that is the new rotor and the new brake pads on the passenger side. All that's left to do is put the tire back on, fill the tire back up with air, and that would be a complete front brake job. Only thing we did not do was bleed the brakes, which you would do from here, but I don't think I'm gonna do that today. When I do get around to that, I will make a video. Check out that shock right there. MC shock right there. Nice. Yes, sir. Red coils, very pretty. I might wash that down a little bit. All right. I'm gonna take these blocks underneath. I'm going to go ahead and drop the door. One thing. All right, got the tire aired up. Continue lowering the car. Let's take it for a test drive. I am filthy. I need a shower. Yeah, I need a vacuum too. Jeez. Went to the beach the other day. Took a little beach photo shoot. 578,000 miles on this baby. Let's start her up. All right. So I'm gonna pump the brakes a little bit. Let's take it for a spin. Let the windows down. See if we can hear any squeaking. Look at that. No squeaking. Love that. Alright guys, so 5,000 miles later and this car is riding better than when I first got it. It is smooth, there's no brake squeak, shifting beautifully. Beautiful, beautiful ride. Got the Corvette back there, it is dirty as heck. That's what I get for not putting the tarp on it. I thought I was gonna be driving it a little more, but I've been driving the Rover a lot all this week. But this baby needs a little sprinkle water, needs a little shower. Vet definitely needs a shower. Thanks for checking out the video. Stay tuned on the channel. I know I'm not uploading a lot lately, but I have big plans, got big things coming up. Really big plans, really big things, so you're not gonna want to miss it. This is a longevity channel. It's the beginning of this channel still, so we're just gonna keep going up, becoming more successful, bringing some real lavish lifestyle and content to you fellas. All right, peace, stay lavish.